Hello, everybody. Welcome to After the Credits number 92. We are joined. Taz, you're looking different again this week.
Oh,
what's going
yeah.
on, man?
What's up, guys? I'm Taz.
Your mic sounds different as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get it together, man. No. Welcome, everybody, to another episode. We have Behind the Kernel with us
What is
today.
up, guys?
How's it going, buddy? What's been going on?
A lot of good things. Just putting out more content, talking about, movies, shows, just like we do.
Incredible. It's we obviously we know each other from, like, I guess, sister shows that we do. We work together on Council Creators a lot. I've had you on our main show, The Pipeline, and you're here today. It's always a very fun transition because that show's very structured. It's very snappy, very to the point. This is just
laid back.
We're chilling, we're talking, we're vibing a little bit. We have some really interesting, I'll be honest, two very big episodes to talk about today. We obviously had the season 2 penultimate episode of Peacemaker this week, which, oh boy, there's a lot to dive into there. And we had episode 5 of Gen V to talk about as well, which we'll talk about it once we get there. I think might be my favorite episode of the season so far. They were doing some really interesting things this week. So I'm very excited to hop in. We're going to start with some comments. We have Mr. Jeffrey in the chat starting us off. What's going on, Jeffrey? Jeffrey said, it's almost time. Well, now it is time, Jeffrey. Jeffrey said, OMG, it's Colonel.
Yeah.
Have you eaten any popcorn today, Colonel? Popped any popcorn today?
I think I had corn on the cob.
Close enough.
I'll probably have popcorn tomorrow when I go to the movies. How about that?
Do you regularly eat popcorn when you go to a movie?
It's I'd say a third or half of the time.
Yeah.
Because you can't eat it every time. Sometimes I just bring a drink with me, especially when I'm trying to review a movie and I'm trying to pay attention. Yeah.
Yeah, it's too expensive. Especially if you if you go to movies as much as we do. If you're going every weekend, it's you can't, quite literally can't. You'll never die from the fats, and you'll it's a lot. But no, very nice. He also said hi. Well, hello. He's working on the popcorn buckets. Do you have any new popcorn bucket pitches for us?
I thought of a popcorn bucket, just of an Avatar one. I thought one would be cool if they did a one of the creatures from Avatar. I thought that would be pretty cool. Like one of the whale, or I forget what it's actually called, but yeah, I think that would be cool.
Yeah, I've enjoyed this new game. I get to play with all these new movies now that popcorn buckets are what they are. It's oh, what's this one going to be? What's the most ridiculous popcorn bucket they can do for each thing?
I think they should do a snake popcorn bucket for the new Zootopia movie coming out.
Oh, or fun. Anaconda next year too. Can you imagine just a giant
Yeah, that would be super easy to carry around with you too. Imagine just putting it around your neck and just walk into the theater.
I'd feel a lot of popcorn too. Although then it turns into a Pringle can where you have to stick your whole arm in the bucket just to get it.
Maybe the tail, but there could be an end and you push it up through the thing like a.
It's like one of those popsicle things where you have to push pops. You have to push them up.
People always pitch the turn thing on a deodorant thing, but for a can of Pringles.
Yeah. So it's incredible. Yeah. No, I'm excited for next year. I'm excited to see. I'm thinking, all right, well, Avengers Endgame, you have to do the Doom mask. That's going to happen.
That is my most so on the fence movie at the moment. I am so on the fence about Avengers Doomsday. Yeah. I am so on the fence. I am that first trailer is going to make or break it for me. I'm not convinced until I see that first trailer.
Rumors
of it being attached to Avatar. Yeah, I saw that.
I don't know if I can focus on Avatar once I see an Avengers trailer in front of it.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
You want me to focus? Now I have to remember after a 3-hour movie. I have to go home and be like, okay, so there was this and there was this. Or, I have to try and keep it in my brain.
Yeah. They're gonna. Yeah.
we have a comment here that just said it's the Colonel.
Yeah,
are you the Colonel or are you a Colonel?
The Colonel.
I feel the Colonel. Okay, cool. Jeffrey said, "I don't eat popcorn. I'd rather have any." Ooh, interesting. Okay. That's a good question. That's a good follow up. Is that your favorite movie theater snack, or would you prefer something else at a movie?
You know what I like getting? Sometimes I just like having like they sell like the little mini bags of mini Oreos, or just like something like that. Something small and light.
Yeah.
Like something light that doesn't require a lot of energy or like thought.
Sure. Yeah, I don't do it very often for obvious reasons, but like I like a good like nacho and cheese.
That would be good too. Yeah. I see. The thing is, because like literally our job is to review movies and talk about them.
Yeah.
I find myself a lot if a lot of times I'll see a movie twice. I'll see like an early screening of it, usually that I'm invited, and then I'll go another time with like family or friends.
Right.
Usually when I go with family or friends, I'll get like a snack or something like that because I'm not as critical on it. That's more like the first time I watch it to kind of like, but yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. I have to do that where like most movies I'm not actively talking as much as I need to be, where it's like when it's like a new Marvel movie, I know I'm seeing that shit twice because I was like, all right, I'm gonna be talking about that for the next like 6 months. Like that's what most my content's gonna be about. So your new Marvel movie, your new DC movie, eventually your new Star Wars movie, when those start coming back, are going to be like, all right.
Sometimes I miss seeing Star Wars on the big screen.
Next year, hopefully, if all goes well, which that'd be interesting. All right. With that being said, I think we're just gonna jump into today's episode, and of course, we'll answer any other comments as we go along, or like in between points within the stream. We are going to jump into this week's episode of Peacemaker. This is the penultimate episode of Peacemaker season 2, episode 7. If you have not seen Peacemaker season, especially episode 7, get out of here. We are talking spoilers upon spoilers. There's a lot to talk about this week. Before we jump into it, though, what has your, not just on season 2, but like what's your general vibe been on Peacemaker this season, also last season as a show as a whole, I guess?
From what I understand, I could totally be wrong about this. My thoughts on the show are very different from everyone else's. I did not like season 1 that much. I thought the plot was very weak about like I wasn't into the whole butterfly thing. For me, it was a very weak plot for a character that was so badass. This season, I love this season. I love the whole like challenging Chris's like identity, him not even noticing like what reality he was in. Like they even talk about like the giant mural, like his absence of realizing, or like even because I was worried at the beginning of the season because I was like, okay, like are we just gonna kind of like tease about going into that universe? And then like the last 2 episodes that we had just went fully in. And like that one part where we had Chris like against the back of the one part of the trophy case, and they're like ganging up on Keith, and he's like that. I have been so impressed with John Cena's acting in this season. And you've been kind of hearing me say this even over on Council. At this moment in time, I am a little bit more into the DCU than I am the MCU right now. And I will tell you, that is the first time since I can remember ever that is the case. Because I've always been a Marvel person over DC. Just when it comes to the movies and like the cinematic universe, I've kind of always been equal about both of them in general. But it's wow.
This is definitely the most positive I've been about like just the cinematic side of DC, because like I had my field day with like the Arrowverse shit over the years, and like I had my era of just being like, well, maybe they'll be consistent someday. Maybe we can get this kind of stuff on the big screen.
I'll tell you, like when I saw Superman, listen, I like Superman. before this. Like, he was fine. I've always been a Batman guy, though. That movie brought Superman as a character from, like, a 4 out of 10 in my eyes to, like, a 8.5 or 9. I don't know if I just really resonated with what James Gunn did with the character. And I know this is, like, a controversial thing, you know, but even just the comic booky, if you want to call it that-ness of that movie, and just having it feel proper, just, I don't know, it just felt right to me.
Yeah. No, I think, like, I haven't loved everything in Superman and everything in Peacemaker, but I've definitely, there is something about this world that they are creating that is very energetic. I think especially in Superman. Like, even though I didn't love everything, I loved that they created this world that I want to live in more, that I want to get to dive into. Like, I want to see what's happening, like, across the street, and I want to see what's happening, you know, in space, because it does feel like a world where you turn a corner and you would find some other crazy thing happening that's not centered to our story. And I definitely think it's one of the best, like, set up movies I've seen for, like, a cinematic universe, because that was one of my fears going in, because it kind of does do that, like, Batman v Superman thing, or that, like, Monsterverse thing, where it's like, oh, we're setting up a universe before knowing if it's a success. And I think that's one of the better versions of that, where it's like, oh, okay, they kicked it off running, and this is a world that you want to explore more of. And yeah, that's an interesting take about season 1. I remember loving season 1 a lot, but then, like, thinking some of the comedy didn't hit for me, or, like, some of the stuff didn't land as well as I wanted it to, which is, in fairness, still an issue I have with this season. So, like, comedy is still one of the aspects where I'm not 100% with this season either. But I think with this season, what's really been doing it for me is the emotional core of the characters. Yes. That has been this show's biggest strength, where every episode, even if I'm not in love with it, it's like, yes, but this scene with this character, or this scene with this character, or the emotional chops of this, and this is so brilliant that you do just want to, like, praise those elements of it.
Yes, and specifically the one thing that stands out for me, at least, was the Harcourt thing with him and Harcourt. And the fact that, like, you know, from the Suicide Squad through all of season 1, she's always been this very rough-edged person, and she still is. But in that, was it the last episode? No, it was the episode where they went in. She just totally broke down in front of him, and getting to see her whole thing with Rick Flag and all of that just totally just gave me some more insight into who she is, and allowed me to actually like her more as a character.
Yeah, no. Okay, so I'm trying to, like, readjust. I'm like, okay, what happened last week and what happened specifically?
Yeah, the episodes kind of blend together a little bit.
They do. And that's been kind of a thing for me as well, where, like, I heard someone say early on inside the season, and again, there's no confirmation of this whatsoever, just kind of theories, but, like, people saying that they thought this season was maybe supposed to be a movie, but then they found out they couldn't do a movie, so they just kind of put that storyline into a show, which would make a lot of sense for me, because some of the middle of the season has been some of my biggest critiques, where it's like, some of this stuff maybe doesn't need to be here. Some of these plot lines feel like they're really stretched, and then other elements feel like it's maybe not enough.
Like a movie format, right?
Yeah. So what was your thoughts on just, like, this individual episode, and where we are with our characters, with the twist? Obviously, last week we kind of end the with the big reveal that, it is Earth X, it is not the Earth.
I will say I enjoyed everything that they were trying to do or set up. Now, I guess this was just me, like, hoping for different things. I was hoping to get a little bit more of insight into, like, what was going on as a whole in this universe, like, where the minorities were, where all of these, like just, I was, you know what I mean? Like, I was hoping to see maybe somebody, like, really surprising, you know, just throw in a little extra in there or something. We didn't really get that. It's not too late to happen. You know, because I was even telling someone, I said, I was like, you know, wouldn't it be cool if, like, Keith, you know, knowing that happened, calls on to, like, one of his friends in that world to come infiltrate this world.
Yeah.
That could be a thing that happens. Because they definitely left him alive for a reason. They would have just killed him if they didn't plan on using him. But as far as the emotional moments too, that moment where Chris is like yelling from the trophy case, like to not kill Keith, and the fact that a lot of people have a theory of which vigilante came back to our universe has been a big discussion piece. But I had a really good time with it. I think it was a great second to last episode to kind of kick off the finale.
I do think you're echoing kind of a lot of my sentiments. I think the episode itself is a very well made, very well put together episode, and we'll talk more of the like nitty gritties here in a second. But I am concerned about the story as a whole, because if we are done with Earth X, that does scare me, because I think how we follow by next week's episode and potentially where the season ends will determine how I feel about the season as a whole.
Yeah.
Because if we are building to a larger story, if we are building on what's been established, then I'm like, cool, this is a good season. If this is it for Earth X and they're like, all right, boys, wrap it up, I'm like, whoa. What about Hardcore? What about Rick Flag Jr. that was set up? What about the Flags of Liberty? What about all the people that are in cages and camps for their entire life? The idea of just being like, that sucks. All right, see ya. That doesn't sit well with me. Either. Like again, totally fine if we are setting this up. I really like what you're saying. I kind of love this idea that it's just set up for next season. This season is us going over there. Next season is them coming to us, really kind of like a take on the Crisis on Earth X, Arrowverse crossover that we had several years back at this point, where it's like, okay, Keith knows where they are. Keith is pissed, and he brings all the rebels and resistance of his world to invade their world, and that's kind of where we are. Or even vice versa, it ends with Chris being like, we gotta go back and we gotta go help that Earth kind of stuff.
So I'm gonna kind of tell you a theory I heard about what this final episode couldn't tell, because the only thing we know for certain is that it directly connects to Man of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
So, and someone was talking about, will Brainiac be teased in this finale?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say yes.
You think? Yeah.
I don't think we'll see him. I think they will tease either I think it'd be kind of funny if they did a silhouette similar to the end of Peacemaker season 1, with the Justice League, or the Justice Gang as it is now in the DCU. Yeah. But I do think, because the whole idea of this final episode is that that Argus is going to be going to these different dimensions inside of the thing, trying to find. So I think it'd be really cool if we find out that on this specific version, this Earth X, that Brainiac is their leader.
Yeah.
And he leaves.
Oh, shit. Okay.
That would be really insane if he's I don't want to but the modern day Nazi guy that's just taken over their Earth.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. Yeah, because again, that's my only worry is on one hand, I have all these ideas where it's okay, this could connect to here, and that sets up this and this and this.
So let me ask you this: how would you feel if this was the end of Peacemaker, but then in Man of Tomorrow, the Earth X leaks in to?
Here's the thing: I would love it. As a fan, I would be like, "Fuck yeah!" It's so comic booky for this thing to lead to this thing. But he's also said on record, you don't need to watch blank to watch blank, and this is a big thing. There's a whole homework, debate going on. So I would be like, but James, you said that, it'd be really hard to watch Man of Tomorrow and then not watch Peacemaker season 2, and then Peacemaker season 1, and then it's a domino effect from there. I think if you can do it in a way that helps the casual audiences out a little bit, then yeah, I'm in on that idea. I even pitched, and again, this goes against this exact idea. I was almost thinking even like, okay, he said that G.I. Robot would be coming back eventually. Everyone wants G.I. Robot to go onto the Nazi Earth. They also said that the next time we see this cast will be in another TV show. I was like, what if Creature Commando Season 2 is like the cast of Peacemaker and Creature Commandos teaming up to go take down Nazi Earth? And there you get to have your like G.I. Robot of everything. Because I think that's what people want. I think people want to see G.I. Robot going in there and be like, yeah, fuck these guys, and just killing them. You know, I think that's what people want.
You know what I think would be like kind of like a very interesting thing, and it would kind of really, I would like if they ended this. Ooh, you know what? Yes. So if they ended this season, because the whole theming for this season was that Chris wanted to go to Earth X to escape all of his problems. Rick Flag wanted Peacemaker gone for what he did to his son.
Yeah.
What if, you know, at the end of this season, they somehow kidnap Peacemaker, take him to Earth X, and permanently like shut the door so that he cannot leave.
Interesting.
Leaving, you know, oh, Rick Flag's happy because Peacemaker's not around anymore.
Yeah.
But also, you know, he's getting what he wants, but not exactly. Because he just, yeah.
It's
there's a lot to throw around, yeah.
I've even heard people like throw around that like Peacemaker dies in this next episode. Which
oh my, what?
I don't subscribe to, but like James Gunn did say a thing at one point where it's like someone asked him about season 2, and he's like, "Well, you guys just have to see the finale first." It's like, maybe I don't know, like, and like with where we've left Chris at the end, like the end of the episode, of him just being like, "I don't deserve," you know, like this is all me, all the death is because of me. There's that banger line where it's like, it's not this Earth being bad or that Earth being bad. It's I'm the bad guy. Like I am the problem for everything. It's like, Jesus Christ, man. Like maybe like, does he like blow up the Earth? He like goes back over there, sets a grenade on like the center of the Earth or something, blows it up. Like, I don't know. Like, takes himself with it.
I can't.
I don't think so.
I just can't imagine that even not just Keith, but the world itself is gonna be just A-okay with the fact that they just killed, you know, 2 members of the trio and almost killed a third, and just letting them go scot-free. Like I can't even. I just don't see that realistically happening.
No, that is like Keith again. Keith just feels like a potential season 3 villain. Like I think, and be a really good one too. Like I think it's a full, like if season 3 was your final season, can't really pick a better final season villain than the brother that he killed that you set up in season 1. Like that's a great full circle moment. And again, if this is a season 3 storyline, and this is something we're fully diving into next season, no problems with any of this. I am A-okay with almost everything you're doing. I will feel a knot in my stomach though if by next week they're like, nope, we're done. We're never going back. I don't know. We'll see. Let me go through some comments and then now hit probably some of the things that we're maybe going to go into, or we can dive into other stuff. Harrison James said, yeah, that's my main criticism, I guess, too. Everything we got was great television. It's what we didn't get / shown that gives me questions. But hoping if it's not this season, it does get proper result. That's 100%. Yeah, I get 100% how I feel. Like you said, like I said last week, I really wanted a big world building episode this week. I wanted an episode that was kind of not necessarily explaining how the world got here, because we kind of, that's, you know, done in a line being, they lost World War II. This is what it led to. But I wanted a lot more, and maybe we'll do more next week. I don't know. But I wanted a lot more that like showed the travesty of this world.
Right.
Because there are, like, yes, obviously there's stuff that Chris just didn't see because of like the whole like Hitler thing and stuff like that. But
I think it could have been as simple as just showing where the rest of the crew was in this world. I think it could have just been as simple as that.
Yeah, like there, I don't know, like, it is still too good of a world still for what the implications are of this storyline. Like, there are many I've been seeing, and again, these are the toxic people of the internet, but like there are still people online being like, yeah, the world seems pretty good. It's pretty
And
awesome.
also,
And
I wanted to kind of ask something that, like, when I was watching, it kind of had me like with my head turned, like, on how they handled this part. There was a moment in the last episode where, like, you see Augie Smith, and he's like, yeah, he's like, I don't agree, I didn't create the problems in my world. Pretty much just like revealing that he isn't like of his world. Pretty much the opposite of who he is in the regular world. And like, I'm expecting Keith to like maybe like attack him or like full on like do something, and he just kind of like looks at him, and I'm like, did he know? Like, is this known about Augie Smith? Like, or is it like him telling everyone for the first time that like, I just felt like that needed to be explained, maybe like a sentence or two more.
No,
like,
100%.
Like there was something that didn't quite connect there.
It's such a huge moment that I almost love. I do like the twist that like he isn't the Nazi here. I like that twist a lot. I think that really, really works. I like that line where it's like, I saw the other version of me, and there's something dark about him. There's something that was very corrupt at his core. I liked that a lot. I like that he is one of the people trying to stand up in a world that he can't fully do it, or him and his family are dead. He's trying to kind of fit in a world that doesn't accept his beliefs, but we don't dive enough into it. It's like, okay, was he a freedom fighter, or was he just doing things on the side so it wouldn't get him caught? I think there's a great storyline here about like, you may not have been a Nazi, but also you weren't doing enough in the fight. It's like, I think that's a storyline that's really cool.
Right, because to me it's implied, because like obviously Augie knows about like what Keith did. Like he was even on the phone with him while he was in the middle of doing it. He's like, hey, get back here. Like, there's something more important going on. And to me, just the vibe that I kind of got from their relationship was that like Keith knows about his dad doing it, like how he is in that universe. But it's kind of like a thing of like, oh, you're just old and you don't understand our ways. Like that's kind of what I was getting from that, of like, oh, you just don't understand. It's like, I'll agree to disagree with you because you're my dad and I love you. That's exactly what I got from that.
It feels like when you have like homophobic parents, it's like, I get that. Just the world's changed, that. And again, that's a dynamic I want to explore. I want to get flashbacks for like next season. I want to see their dynamic a bit more. I would have liked an arc. Like I kind of don't love that they killed him off so quickly after instantly knowing him. Like I kind of wanted this arc of him being like, yes, I believe what's right. I know what's right, but I am too scared to stand up for the fight. And it ultimately leading to like, you need to help us take care of. Like I think that could have been a really cool world. And like maybe this is just me expecting too much. Maybe this is me wanting a bigger storyline than they are capable of doing. But again, like I see a storyline with like Crisis on Earth X, and I see what they were doing on a small CW budget, and I was like, I kind of want that on a big scale. Like I saw what they were able to do, and I saw the world that they created. That was a world, horrendous world. The skies were red. The world was ended. It was a horrible hellscape. And like we now live in this world where it's like birds are chirping and sunshine and rainbows, and Spider-Man still exists. Or Spider-Man shouldn't exist, and it does feed into the fire a little bit for many people, where it's like, oh yeah, let's just have that world. That world seems pretty good. It's like
something that I really appreciate about Peacemaker, that I feel like has kind of been touched on a little bit. It feels like they do so much, and like with the budget that they have, because you can tell the budget, like they definitely have the room to do some bigger stuff than the CW, but also not like huge movie.
It's not
things.
Superman.
Right. And I can appreciate, to me it's always been like, if you can't do the bit, make the stakes matter. It doesn't need to be always some big expensive thing. It just has to mean something to the character, and that is something that I think that Peacemaker season 2 has done really well. Whereas, like, I thought season 1 was more about, like, this, like, plot of the butterflies. And, this has been more emotional, of course, him deciding, if what he stands for. Because I think there was even a line early on in the season where he was like, like thinking about, peace at any cost, and even thinking if like that was the right thing, if you know what I mean.
Right. Yeah. Again, I have to see how they wrap it up. I have to see where it ends. I think to fully I almost feel like I need to rewatch the season when it's done, because I feel like I need to see like a full vision board of like, did all these storylines wrap up in the way that they did, or whatever. I think is definitely interesting. Cameron said James Gunn confirmed that Vigilante 2 stayed back. Did he?
Okay, maybe in his podcast. They always have a podcast after.
Why would he say that though? Why would he confirm that in an interview? Like,
maybe because he didn't. I guess maybe just because he didn't want people like getting ideas about it and getting, you know what I mean? Like, oh, maybe this plotline, but I don't know.
Yeah, but maybe. That like Vigilante 2 would be Earth X Vigilante. Like, why would they reveal that? I feel like that's a twist of the episode. You want to be, oh my gosh, he stayed behind, which again, I actually would love as the reason to go back, right? Like, that would actually make Vigilante's but his storyline this season, where like Chris forgot to put him inside the letter that he left the gang, and now he's the reason they all have to go back to this hellscape of a world because, gosh, shit, he's being tortured or something. You know what I mean? So, like, that would be a cool reason to go back next season if that's where we're heading. I don't know. We'll see. Jeffrey said somehow opening one of those doors will trigger something with Brainiac. I have heard that kind of idea.
The only hope that I have for this next episode, aside, from like them ending it on a note where it's satisfying, I would kill for them to open up a door and it's the silhouettes from season 1 of Peacemaker, and they're just like, no, and he just closes it. I would lose it.
I think there has to be
like a nod, like just like a funny nod to it.
Yeah, I think there's probably some multiverse cameo. I don't really necessarily want multiverse cameos, but like,
no,
because we got so many of them over the years.
I don't think I want a multiverse cameo as much as I just want a nod to the old DCEU, and just to like throw a little bit of like a joke at it.
Yeah, that's probably like a silhouette or like.
Yeah, like it doesn't need to be some big reveal or anything. Just like kind of like he opens the door, he sees it, he's like, oh nope, nothing in here. Just close it.
I've heard people also be like, this is your way that you show that Robert Pattinson's in a different world. You open up, it's Robert Pattinson's Gotham City being flooded, or I don't know. Like, I don't want cameo fest. That's not really what I want in this final episode, but
yeah,
that could also be funny. Harrison said it could be as simple as Argus now having the QUC, and it's just the tech itself that gets Brainiac's attention. I could see that. I could see a world where it's Brainiac's tech to begin with, because we still haven't really got into where it actually came from.
The portal, yeah.
Like, they just stumbled upon it, which again would make sense why Peacemaker would potentially be in Man of Tomorrow, because it's like, yo, your family stole my fucking tech, bro. Like, that's not cool. I need to probe your brain to see what you know, or I don't know, something like that. James Gunn said he might explore more with X in later seasons. Well, hopefully. Cameron said, I think James Gunn is just using Earth X for character development for the main characters. Sure, but I don't necessarily think that's a good thing, especially when the source material was so deep and it's so relevant to today's culture. Like, there's literally a line in this week's episode being like, this world isn't that far off from what we have now. It's like, I don't know. Especially since they know people are in cages, since they know people are being tortured over there. Like, how can you sleep with yourself knowing that you left a world where that's happening? To be fair, I guess that's kind of our real world as well, where we know things are happening, but we can't do anything. I guess that's kind of a commentary as well, but I don't know. Harrison said, I heard something that originally in the script, the lead Argus butterfly guy from last season was going to be the head of the Sons of Liberties. Forgot his name.
I know who he's talking about, yeah.
Maybe.
The guy that played Villains, Guardians 3, yeah.
Yes. Okay, yeah. That actually would have been cool. I love him as an actor. Speaking of which, we had the cameo from I forget his name, I forget the actor's name, but the guy from last season showed back up in here, which was a nice little.
Oh yeah.
The guy from Riverdale and he's a big actor. I don't know why I said Riverdale. He's in a lot of things, but that was a nice little cameo as well. Harrison said Augie's speech ran hollow a bit for me just because of what was shown. Still a great performance and amazing parallels for Chris's character, but to me, he's just saving Nazis from. Yeah, again, I think there's so many layers to that. There's so many things that we're not seeing and we're not diving into.
Yeah, I think you know what I felt when I was watching that episode? They were just on the verge of like tapping into something where it's like you're an outsider coming from another world. Like, okay, the best way I can describe it is how Vigilante explained it to the other Vigilante. To Vigilante, sure. It's something that like you don't think twice about it not being like that.
Yeah.
Like to you, that is what's normal.
Yeah.
And you're just trying to do your part. As in, how it is in our world where, there's something bad happening and we're all trying to do our part to help it. But it's not like this, it's not like this world-breaking thing that we think of. It's just like, hey, we shouldn't do that. That's wrong.
Yeah.
I feel like that's how, Augie Smith sees it. As,
sure.
He was born into that world. That's a world where that is considered, I mean, even before he was alive, this was even before his time, it was decided for him that was how things would be.
Yeah.
And you have those select few people that are like, hey, that's not right. And then you have people like Keith, where, again, it's like a commentary of like, oh, you're just, my dad, and you don't see things quite the right way. And I feel like they were so close into tapping into something like really emotionally rich.
No, 100%. I think that's kind of a good commentary on the season as a whole. I think the season is like always tiptoeing like top tier television. Like it's always like right on the edge of being incredible stuff. And it is good as well. Like I'm not trying to diminish the things that it's doing this season because it has been good, but it's like it's always like
if it just took that one step further, if it leaned into it instead of just like not touching on it. The episodes need to be longer, in other words.
Like I think 4 and 5 should have been one episode. Like that was the episode where I'm like, I didn't like that little bit, I didn't like that, and there's literally a plot line about one of our characters stalling for time, and it's like that's what it feels like the episode was, where it's like, oh, we need 8 episodes, let's do that. Where instead, I want to spend more time in this world, like merge that into one episode, and then you have an extra episode of like Chris in the world. Maybe that's like this, like maybe that's episode 7, where it's like, or maybe episode 6, where it's like, yeah, they're exploring the world before this all goes down, before this big. Like I think there needed to be a little bit more of the exploration of this world. Like we had the the Adebayo and Judo Master stuff this week, which I actually did like quite a bit. Like they're bonding inside the cabin, I thought was really good. But it's like we're stuck inside, where I feel like the more interesting stuff that could be happening is happening outside of those those walls. I want to see more of that. I want to see, like I even think the like chase scene, while as funny as that whole sequence is, it kind of doesn't feel real. It kind of feels like a zombie movie. They don't feel like real people, like what a real person would do in that scenario. Where I feel like, let's say this happened in our world and there was like an ogre appeared. It was just like walking down the street. We wouldn't chase the ogre. We'd be like, 911, government, hello, come take care of, like that stuff. And it felt a little bit too almost slapsticky, a little bit too like Looney Tunes-esque to me. But it's still a cool sequence when he like puts the shocker in the water and kills them all. Like, yeah, like that was still a fun sequence, I thought.
I was almost disappointed when I heard, when I saw the preview for episode 7, and I saw that they were going into Earth X as the same episode that they were leaving, and I'm like, yeah, like you can imagine you just seeing that there's not going to be much time spent.
There's Yeah, like it feels like, what is it, episode 6? Episode 6 felt like the mid-season point. It felt like that's when the season is really starting. We have another 6 episodes. Like, I don't know if you've seen Agents of Shield, but Agents of
Shield, one of my
did
favorite shows of all time.
The like Hydra world arc is like 6 episodes long. They spent like an entire arc of episodes in that world, and that's kind of what I wanted this to be. I kind of wanted to be able to spend a world in this horrible hellscape of a world, but really, like, as soon as you get there, it's over, and it's like, okay, all right, whatever. Let me speed run through the rest of these here. Haven't seen past episode 5, but Chris has been my favorite character so far. Do you have a favorite character this season?
Probably it's between Chris or Eagly, because I'm a big Eagly fan.
Yeah, I think Heartcore was up there for me. I really, really loved her. Her little arc this season and what she's been going through. I love James Gunn recently like made a thread about this today, actually. Like, there's that scene this episode where like she puts her head on Chris's back, and like he made a thread about it saying like the only reason she did this is because she thought she was going to die in that scene. Like, that was the end of her life when they were chasing him. It's like, holy shit, that's dark as hell. Like, she's only able to be vulnerable because no one will, like, she won't be there to remember that feel. Like, I think that's interesting stuff that, like, I kind of want to, I don't know, I kind of wish that was like vocalized a little bit more on screen, that like, holy shit, that's what's happening there, instead of just saying it off like online. But yeah, no, I thought that scene was great. Harrison James said I could see Vigilante sacrificing himself in the finale, and that's what finally gets Chris to appreciate his friend / another thing he loses from being blind. I pitched that earlier on in the season. I don't think he'll die, but I did pitch like earlier on what, like, I said that, like, because I thought Vigilante 2 was going to be like comic book Vigilante. I thought it was going to be a lot darker, a lot grittier. I thought he was going to he still kills people, but like actively more of like a more comic book Vigilante. And like, I thought, like, what if Vigilante 2 kills Vigilante 1? And like, it is the story about like grass is greener on the other side, and like I took him for granted, and now he's dead because of me and my actions. And again, that's probably way too dark that James wanted to go with the show, but just some ideas that I had said.
A lot is riding on this next episode.
Yeah, agreed.
A lot.
James said it at the watch party. He's doing one for every episode on Thread. Yeah. I sent something in Discord about the giant spider. I'm excited to see that giant ass spider. I'm excited. I think that's the stuff I'm a bit more excited for. Like, I don't want as many cameos. I want to see just like these biomes that we get to. I think that's going to be really fun next week. I believe Michael Rooker's character in this is the same character from the Suicide Squad, as they both kill birds. I think Gunn said they were different characters. They are separate characters. I was not a fan of his character this season, though. I was.
Yeah, he was just kind of like on the sideline.
I'd like, again, that's something I said while these episodes were airing. Could have been cut. That's something that felt like it was filler for the show. And now that we're at the end, it's like, what was the point of all? It seems like the point was to set up whatever this like prime ego thing is. But since I don't know where that's going right now, I'm not a fan of that either. I'm like, okay, cool, I guess. But I need more context for what they're doing with that before I can co-sign if I'm a fan of it yet. So we'll see. Okay, sweet. The last, or not last one, but I will, however, take a Blue Beetle cameo, please, and thank you. I don't need it though. Do you think we get Jaime in here?
I would love to see Blue Beetle back. Yeah. I really liked. I enjoyed the Blue Beetle movie. I thought it was good.
Yeah, me too. I even heard people theorize that we'll get the original Blue Beetle. Like, you know, like he's like disappeared and he's vanished. Okay. He's on Earth X. Like, he got transported to Earth X or some shit, and that's where he's been all these. Like, I was like, that'd be kind of sick if that's what they did with it.
You know, I just thought about this. Even if like they do, if I really hope if they decide to do a cameo, it's nothing serious because that'll only lead to more questions. If they're gonna do a cameo, just make it I can't even talk. Small, funny little thing. Like, even if it was just like, I know this would be like really ridiculous, but like, even if they just show it like they look in the one door and it's like Scorpion fighting Peacemaker in Mortal Kombat, like just do something weird. Like,
That's
just
good.
throw something out there weird that is like,
like, I'm going through all the things, and of course it's like, well, I love like an Arrowverse cameo or some, like, that's one of the doors and blah blah blah. But then that like goes into my thing I've been talking about all season, is like, is this the multiverse or is this alternate dimensions or like alternate timelines? Because I do think there is a difference. Like, they keep calling it Earth 1, Earth 2, stuff like that, but like, or is it parallel timelines? Kind of like, I'm that would be something I'll be curious about, because they said there's only 99 of them. So it's like, well, there's more than that. There's way more than that. So that will be interesting.
I think it'd be really interesting if that door that alien keeps coming through, the one that like Chris has been like, is the one that Brainiac comes from. Because
that has to come somewhere. Yeah.
Like, wouldn't that be, because like they've been kind of, I know it's been kind of played off as like a gag every time.
Yeah.
But it'd also be like a cool way to like pay off those minutes spent on that gag.
They have to pay it off. It's building to something. And if not, we're gonna look back on it and be like, so why'd you do that, James? What was the point of just that? Like and that goes for a couple bits this season where I'm like, okay, cool. But why? What was the point of setting all of that storyline up? Like what were you doing? Do you have any final things that we haven't talked about this episode? I feel like I'm trying to think. I feel like there's something I'm missing.
I think just the fact that there's a lot riding on this episode. Like you said, there's a lot of stuff. Like, I would give, if I were to give it out of a 10 so far without the ending, I'd go like 7 out of 10. And I'm only going so high because I've really liked a lot of the emotional moments and I really love the characters, but they need to stick this landing. Right now, it's like they're wobbling in the air, and we're unsure how they're going to land it. Yeah. Because they have the potential to make it a great season.
I agreed. Yeah.
But it scares me because there's just like something in my head telling me that they're not going to go as deep as we want them to.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm nervous. Yeah, I have a feeling it's not. I'm going to feel more disappointed than not. And, I think preparing for that is going to be my cure. This is going to be my key. Unless they're hiding a lot from the promo. Like, the promo feels like they've completely ditched the previous storyline, and it's just now almost like an epilogue. Like, it feels like this was the finale, and next week is so coming up on the DC universe, and like setting up Man of Tomorrow and what's coming up next. And also, James Gunn hyped the hell out of episodes 6 and 8. Like, he was like, these are the greatest, like, this is some of the greatest television, or like, this is some of the greatest things I've ever done. And it's like, all right, man. all right.
I loved episode 6. I liked episode 6 a lot.
Best he's ever done, though? I don't personally, I liked it.
Yeah.
But it's no Guardians 1. It's not the Suicide Squad. Yeah. It's not Guardians 3, to me at least. Like, I don't know. But yeah,
I'm really hoping that best of is coming from episode 8. I'm really
8, yeah, and I also like the way it ends. I actually thought the way the episode ended was very good as well. Just like, even though I didn't like that we were home already, I do like, well, they went over to grab me and convinced me to come back, and here it is, and like, I like that a lot. And I like what they did with Judo Master this week as well, like setting him up as almost one of the crew a little bit. Like, it kind of, like, now it kind of feels like he's kind of one of the group at this point, at least through Adebayo. So I'm wondering if we get a season 3, if he's just like one of the gang members at this point. Like, he's part of the group, would be kind of cool. I think they have I think that dynamic's very fun.
Right.
Alrighty. We'll zoom through a lot of these, so just a couple of these comments, and then we'll move on to our next show. Chainsaw Reacts is in the chat. What's going on, buddy?
Oh man.
Man, the show is woke. Yep, you know us. You know us. Cameron said Michael Rooker's character was a recast. Michael Rooker took the role as a favor. I did hear that. I think you could have just cut it out though, unless there is a big reason for the Prime Eagle thing that we don't know about yet. Like besides that, I think you could have just, I don't know. Night Superman makes the most sense to show up. We'll see, maybe, possibly. It'll be Ted Kord. I think he's trapped. Yes, I could see. I think that'd be a really cool way to end it.
The only reason I don't like, kind of like you, I don't want like some big like Reverse Flash to show up is because I want the attention to be on Peacemaker.
Yeah, agreed.
And that's why I'd be like, okay, if it was like a funny gag throwaway thing of like just Peacemaker in another universe, because it wouldn't really mean anything. It would be funny and still be about the show, but they need to keep it about the show.
Yes, agreed. I like Judo Master and Adebayo's convo over Scrabble. I did really like that scene. That was great. I liked her hyping up Peacemaker, being like,
"That's my buddy."
Yeah, like I said he's nice. I didn't say he was smart. Like I thought that scene was really, really good too. I think James Gunn said there are 100 universes because those 100 are connecting to the. Yeah, I think it's just like, for now, this is what they know of in their vicinity. I mean, I think Arrowverse did that same thing where it's like there's like 60 something Earths, and then it's like, oh no, there's infinite Earths like later on. I'm sure James Gunn will make the landing very safe as he's done before. Yeah, and I think that's how I would describe the season as a whole. Is I think it's pretty safe, great concepts, safe executions. And sometimes I wish they made bigger swings. And then we'll wrap it up, this convo, with this comment. Creature Commandos and some of the Guardians movies are my favorite things from James Gunn. Do you have a favorite James Gunn project that he's done?
My hot take is that Superman. It used to be Guardians 3.
Okay.
But I mean, I could talk enough about good things about Superman. I adore that movie, and it's like, it's funny because I went into that movie thinking, oh yeah, like I'm probably gonna like this. Totally blew me away in terms of, because I don't think James Gunn has a very distinct style, and I feel like, yes, it was shown a little bit there, but there was just something so much more, like there were comedic moments, but there was also this like superhero feeling that I wanted to feel. And I haven't felt in such a long time that I felt with that movie.
That's fair. That's very fair. All right. Speaking of superheroes, or not, I guess lack thereof. I don't know.
Supers.
Supers. Said the thing. Gen V season 2 episode. What's episode 5 of Gen V? Obviously, if you have not caught up with Gen V this season, in particular episode 5, get out of here. We are talking spoilers. If you don't care about spoilers, then stick around. So hang out with us.
Before we even get started, have you seen the preview for episode 6?
I have. I didn't pay super close attention, but I did see the promo. Yeah.
So you saw the whole thing with her sister, and she was like, "Hey, okay," because that's okay.
Interesting stuff. So yeah, no, this was. Well, I guess let's start off. I guess I don't know your opinions on this universe at all. So obviously we have 4 seasons of The Boys. We have 2 seasons of Gen V. We have Diabolical. What's your kind of general vibe with it?
So my favorite season of any of these shows, of all The Boys and all of Gen V, has been season 3 of The Boys. I think that was just absolutely amazing the way they did season 3 of The Boys. Wasn't that big of a season 4 of The Boys, as most people weren't. I was not crazy about it. Really enjoyed Gen V season 1. Really enjoying Gen V season 2. At the moment, I think that Gen V has been just doing a great job with their plot lines and mostly their characters. I think I said this, but I think the powers and characters of Gen V are a little bit more interesting than The Boys characters. While the plot lines might be bigger and bolder in The Boys and more exciting, the characters in Gen V are way cooler and have I guess just for me, more connecting value.
I fully agree. I like The Boys a lot. And, The Boys may technically be the better show. And again, I need to rewatch those early seasons because I do think I was kind of a little jaded by season 4 and not being a huge fan of season 4. I still liked it, but I liked it significantly less, I think, than everything in this universe so far. And maybe there's a bit of this, recency bias. Maybe there's a bit of this, I love a good coming of age story. I like this style. I love the X-Men and Teen Titans. I love those kind of stories.
Right.
This is a show that just kind of grabbed me instantly. And yeah, I love season 1. I thought season 1 was such a breath of fresh air. And then this season has been very interesting because I'm enjoying it more than a lot. I know there's some people that have not loved this season as much, but I'm still kind of there. I'm still into it.
I want to say, I kind of talked about this, but even just the powers that we see in The Boys are very typical superhero powers. I'd say, aside from Starlight, you get things like pretty much Superman powers with Homelander. You get the Deep. You get the Deep, which is Aquaman. You get the Flash, which is A-Train. And with The Boys, you're getting things like, kind of like Ant-Man with
Blood.
Emma. Right. Yeah. I think the blood thing is awesome. Every time I know that there's a fight scene coming up with Marie, I am all for it. And I think also just adding a sense of mystery to what's going on with Cypher and who he is and what his powers are. And the sense that these are kids that aren't, do you know what I mean? It just kind of gives that, it's about stakes. It's always about stakes and how you can make it feel to a character. Yeah. I've always said in media, it's kind of like a quick sidetrack, but it's always it's so important to be you could have a movie about someone trying to run an ice cream truck and just give it the proper stakes and could be a great movie. It's all about what it means to that character specifically.
Agreed. Yeah.
And to me, Gen V right now just has those stakes so well, especially in the last episode with Kate. I was like, okay, they're not just going to write her off as the villain. I really like that they did that a lot.
That happened so much faster than I thought. I started the season being okay, by the end of the season we can set up her redemption arc. No. They did that by episode 4 of this season, and by this episode, she is just one of the team again. And I do appreciate that because I do love Kate as a character, and I do like also just how nuanced they made the ending of last season. You go into The Boys season 4, and it's oh, they're just evil. Okay, they're just one of them. They're one of their lackeys. And then you go into this season, it's oh, how much of a choice did they actually have in the matter?
And you're right on the nail with that because it almost speaks volumes to how the world sees Vought. And oh, when we're on The Boys show, we don't get to see those underlying things that are happening behind the scenes. It's almost like Gen V is going under behind the scenes of what's actually going on more.
Yeah.
And we're getting to see those each individual choices, and we're getting to see, Vought actually, just covered up Andre's death and just all of those different things.
Yeah. It's very Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. coded, where it's you love the movies, that's great. Now see what led to those things, or these little steps that kind of got you there.
I love Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I could talk about that show forever.
One of my favorite shows of all time. It's so good. But yeah, and I think that, say your thing about stakes, I think what is really making me love the season is Cypher. I think Cypher has almost been my MVP.
Yeah,
this is one of the only times in this universe there's been a villain that wasn't directly Homelander as the main villain, or I guess the overlying threat. And for the first time, I right now, I think Cypher is way more terrifying than Homelander. And, I stand by. I actually don't think Homelander is that scary at this point because we've seen he's not really that strong. People are just afraid of him. People are just afraid of what he can do. No one has been able to actually stand up to him up until this point. And there is something so terrifying about Cypher. I think with every single episode, it's what can he do? and we'll get into
what are the extent of his powers?
Yeah, like he knows everything. He can control everybody, and it's like.
And I had a theory. This was my theory. I don't think this has been revealed yet, because what I was thinking to myself, I was like, okay, well, we know that he can, that Cypher is not actually the guy that we're seeing. He's the guy in the incubator thing, right?
Yeah.
So we know that he can control people. We even saw that he controlled Jordan. So we know that is a thing that can happen. My thing is, what after Marie left his training thing, did he control her temporarily? Because how else would he have known about their plan? There's something not connecting there, because he knew about the whole plan, and the only time they talked about it was when they were together. Unless he can read minds when do you know what I mean? Like maybe when Marie was there and when she did that thing where she was lifting the blood, he was entering her mind just so he can read minds.
Yeah, I think it's scary. I think his powers are so much scarier, because that is the thing that I've been wondering. How does he literally know everything? And I have been wondering, can he control people's almost eyes? Can he without them knowing go into them and see what they're seeing? Does he see? He could be doing that to every student at once, for all we know. So he is watching all the students, all the staff. He's seeing everything within his mind all at once. I do think, I forget the character's name, I'm so sorry, but Emma's new boyfriend, 100% think that's Cypher. I think that, or not boyfriend, but his new love interest character. I think that's Cypher, because she immediately said go to Polaris if something happens. Next scene, it's him and Polaris being I know what you've been doing. I know what's going on. It's I also, too much of a coincidence.
I also think it's cool that even though we saw Sister Sage and him together, they're not because they were even talking Homelander, he's not gonna know what hit him. But they're not heroes. They just want to be up there above home. They want to feel secure, but they're not heroes.
No.
And that is what I love so much about the Boys universe, is that just because they want to take down Homelander does not mean that they have right.
I mean, same could be said for the actual Boys team. Those are not good people. No. They're trying to do good things, but Butcher is a horrible person.
Oh yeah.
And even the best characters, even Huey, I'm great intentions, kind of a bad person at this point because of what they've had to do. And that is fascinating. And I am so fascinated to see where this is all leading, because it does, I do feel like we are building to an enemy of my enemy is my friend, where it's once Homelander is taken down, there will be a power vacuum in the world of Vought. And I do think that's what we are building to with Sister Sage and with Godolkin or Cypher, or whatever that's going to be. And I do think Sister Sage is the most fascinating, because it's okay, she's playing Homelander, that's cool. Is she also playing Cypher? They also playing them? I could see it going either way, where Cypher's our next big bad after Homelander goes away, that's cool. It could also be Sister Sage. I could see Sister Sage being this brainiac character, or she has been pulling the strings the whole time, maybe either the end of the season or maybe even the end of The Boys season 5 or Gen V season 3. It's revealed that she's been playing him this entire time. She's been doing the domino effect. She's now the head of Vought. She's now the president of the United States, or some, she's been doing this all, building it up. She is such a fascinating character that I never trust her. There is no scene in the show where I'm yeah, I believe what you're saying. She is 10 steps ahead of every single character. I do think that's fascinating.
Did you also catch, I don't know if this was just a line just for the sake of being a line, or if this was a little wink wink moment in the latest episode, and I wonder if you caught it too. There was a moment where Cypher was talking and he goes, I guess you'll just have to find out next week.
Or yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Or he was pretending they were in a show, even though it was kind of a wall break moment. And I'm thinking to myself, like, is that when they're actually going to like majorly reveal?
Yeah. Oh man, yeah. I'm fascinated with that stuff. I'm also fascinating with, and again, this kind of goes with where we kind of saw everything at the end of the episode. But like, there's that line I think from Sister Sage, where it's like, you don't have that much time left. You have to speed this up. And I was like, what does that mean? I was like, okay, I think he might be sick. I think he might be dying, which is why we do what we do at the end of the episode with Marie's sister. He kills him to see if she can bring him back to life. I am wondering if that's where we are leading to, where he needs Marie to either save his, like, fix his blood or something, or literally bring him back once he dies. He needs to be like, okay, I'm gonna die from this thing. Bring me back with fresh blood or something, where I can keep on doing my thing. And again,
I think when Godolkin is using his powers, because we know all too well in this universe, one of the biggest things that has been like a common thread between very powerful soups is that their powers aren't just their powers. There's always some kind of negative side effect to using their powers, whether it's, Emma with the eating disorder, or if it's, Marie with having to cut herself, or there's always some kind of negative side effect. I think that Godolkin is like, it's gonna kill him if he keeps trying. That's why he needs Marie. That's obviously why he's been training Marie. He needs her body to be a puppet.
Yeah, I could see it being. I was thinking, like, do we end the season with him in Marie's body permanently?
That would be insane. And you know what? I would not put it past them, because in any other show, it'd be like, oh, I don't know if they'll go that dark. It's Gen V.
There's also nothing saying this is getting a season 3. There's been no confirmation. This could technically be the final season, and we wrap up these character stories in The Boys season 5 with all of this team trying to get, like, I hope it gets a season 3, obviously. But then, like, it's also been in my mind. It's like, okay, what if we can, like, can with her powers, can she maybe stop him from doing the body swapping thing? Like, maybe can he just go back to being in his regular crinkled up body in the original thing via her powers, like doing something like that, where he doesn't have to, like, keep puppeting people to do what he wants.
I was also talking about how Marie is one of the strongest soups.
Very powerful. Yeah.
Because what was her name? The woman that died in season 4 that had like very similar powers, that where she could like make people explode.
Newman, isn't that it?
Newman.
Victoria Newman.
But her whole thing was that she had to see you. She had to be able to see you in order to use her powers and make you explode. We saw in that last episode, or one of the last 2 episodes, Marie does not have to see you at all.
No.
That's terrifying.
Yeah. She's already way more powerful than Newman ever was. And like, that goes back to my thing with, like, her bringing people back from the dead via the blood. Can she bring anybody back from the dead? Or is it just recently deceased? Like, that's the thing where it's like, oh, that's it. That is interesting to me, because if that's the case, she really is the most powerful soup that we've ever seen. If you can bring back the dead, or even like, could she make zombies? Could she like puppet around dead corpses around the, like, that would be kind of insane. I don't know how that would work, but I don't know. No. I need to, like, I do need to see why Marie is so much powerful than Cypher. Because right now, I'd say, like, Cypher's the most powerful. He can puppet around people. But why is it Marie? Is it because he can bring people, or she can bring people back? Is it because she can save him? Is that why? It seems like that's kind of what we're leading to. Is like, I need you to save my life. And, like, that pitch is going to be interesting. Once you killed her sister, you murdered her sister you kidnapped her.
Just to
murdered
prove a
her.
point.
Yeah, like, that is like, whoa, okay.
Or to speed up the process.
Yeah.
Because we even hear Sister Sage, she goes, I've got someone coming in right now, implying that it was her sister, that Sister Sage,
Which, Sister Sage is like, I liked to have thought up to a point, like, oh, Sister Sage isn't as bad as Homelander. Not really. I think she's
maybe not as powerful, but definitely can, is working the back end of Vought, like the back. Yeah.
I wonder what her motives are. Like what is Sister Sage? Is it just power? Is it just leadership? Is it just to prove herself?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, what is her end game? Like, she clearly wants to get rid of Homelander. Of course, everybody wants to. I think pretty much across the board, everyone wants to get rid of Homelander. Just no one is brave enough to actually do it. Like, no one
I would love to see a plot line, because we know that, like, no character in this universe is perfect, especially with how we saw. Because I know Firecracker. Where did we leave off with Firecracker? Is she with Homelander?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, but because we saw her on the TV.
Yeah,
that was like, oh, what is it like? Jesus is with you, Homelander is with you. It's like, oh, Jesus Christ, like, and we're with you, Emma. It's like, god damn, comparing him to Jesus Christ is insane. Like, yeah. I can see you holding back thoughts. I was like, I'm not gonna even touch on that. Yeah, I'm curious. Like, again, like, there's so many like the boys characters where I'm like, where do we end their arcs? I don't want them to kill off too many characters, because like it's in a weird spot, because I want them to wrap up the boys. I don't want it to just set up other shows, but also I'd like to keep certain characters alive for we can play with later on. We have hopefully Gen V season 3. We have the boys Mexico coming up. I know Vought Rising is in the prequel, so I guess none of that stuff really matters.
I think my favorite plotline that they could do that would really excite me is to see all of these kids that we thought that Vought was going to tear apart all come together to fight against Vought, like Sam, just Emma, everyone, Kate, everyone comes together. All the kids come together to help fight against Vought.
Oh, I think they're in next season. I 100%. I honestly think Vought will. I'm sorry, not Vought. I think Cypher's on our side next season. Again, I think it's a enemy of my enemy is my friend. I ultimately think our group ends up working with him to stop Homelander. I think they all kind of come together. I think, like, because we already set up the like Starlight Marie connection this season. I think it's all like he comes with the kids being like, hey, we have a thing to stop them, and it becomes almost like a crossover season. Maybe not every episode, because you do want it to be the boys. It is their show, and you have to do it in a way that makes sense to the only boys audience. You can't be a things like, who the hell is Marie? Yeah. But also, how do you do that now? Because they've set up that like Marie is like the chosen one that's going to beat Homeland.
Yeah, and I want to touch on that for a minute, because they still have not explicitly like dived in too deep into Project Odessa.
Yeah,
like they were like, yeah, Marie is Project Odessa, but that was really it. That's like, what does that mean?
Yeah,
like what does that?
Like, she was the first in this study, right? Like, she was the first. She's the reason the whole school exists in the first place, I guess, right? Like, that's what they were doing there. But we don't really know. We don't know why Starlight. Maybe it's wrapped up next season in like the boys season 5, because Starlight knew more than she was letting on. I think we all know that. Like, she seemingly knew a connection between Marie and Odessa, even if she didn't know the full story. Like, what did she know, and like what were their researchers doing? I don't know. It's so, I don't know. It's interesting. But let me go into some of the more individual character stuff, because this was, I think, such a big like character week for so many characters. So many like characters went in different directions this week that I was not expecting them to go. Like, obviously we had this big, like, the whole setup was like the big jail cell breakout for Emma, which again, I not Emma, I'm sorry, Kate. But I do maybe one of my favorite scenes this season was from Emma this week, when they were like, all right, if we find out that Kate dies in here, are you going to be able to forgive yourself?
She's like,
fuck yeah, I will. No, I don't know. Fuck, all right, I'm in. It's like so good, so like realistic, so I love what they were doing there. And I think it led to a lot of very cool kind of creative decisions for them.
Yes.
Yeah, I think them being in the jail cell like really shined a light on all of our characters. Marie is obviously kind of struggling with what we're having to do here, and her sister. She obviously meets her sister, which we talked about a little bit here, but like first time they've interacted in the show. Like this is kind of everything they've been building up from the start of the show, was like reuniting with her sister. And once again, because of her actions, her family is put in danger and killed. She killed another member of her family, arguably. Do you think, now that we know she can bring people back, do you think there's going to be a plot line from her sister of being like, you could have saved mom and dad, like you could have brought them back after what you did to them,
but not knowing that she could have.
Yeah.
Now like, that raises the question, because you were just talking about can she still?
That'd be interesting. I do kind of like the zombie. Like I was joking, like when I said zombies, but like, what if she brings them back and they are like, they're back, but they're messed up. They are like either zombies or like demented creatures, or like I think that could actually be sick as hell, doing like a zombie episode or something. Like I think that could be fun. And it's like you have to bring them back within a certain amount of time, or their brains can't like operate the same. But it works for her because she literally just died. She was able to bring her back instantly. But like I don't know, it has to be like in 24 hours or some shit to make it work or something. I don't know. I'm trying to think, is there any other like dead characters in this universe we could bring back or something
that would
like,
make a significant impact?
Newman? Maybe?
I don't think they should bring Newman back. I think they did a lot to, like, because if they do that, it's like really undoing a lot of like the character, and I say character arc very loosely because it was bad for his character, but it needed to happen. But Billy Butcher, like him killing her was vital to him becoming who he needs to be. And
she also like exploded, right? Like she yeah. I feel like there has to be a body. Like I feel like it has to be like, I don't know, not natural causes, but like there has to be human left to bring them back. I feel like you can't. I thought that stuff was interesting. I thought I loved how like each character was kind of going through this arc of like, I don't know if arc is the right word, but like they were all dealing with this idea of, my issues don't stem from my powers. My issues are my issues. I started with them. They may have been enhanced by my powers. I may have used it as a crutch or as something to blame, but those are my issues. And like Emma's thing where she like has to keep throwing up and she's realizing, it was never my powers. This was a real problem I've dealt with, and I used the excuse of my powers as a way to deal with it. I thought that stuff was great. I thought the Sam stuff was incredible. So many great scenes with Sam. I thought Sam's kind of been hit or miss for me this season. I think this was finally the like, there, you're doing some cool stuff with him. The so many great moments, but like that scene with his mom and the swing was beautiful.
Yep, I really liked that moment. Yes.
That was great. She was just calling for pizza. She wasn't trying to turn him in. There was a guilt element to her this episode that was interesting because she kept giving these weird looks this week, which makes sense. Like she hasn't.
He also broke into the house.
She broke into the house. She was probably scared for their life. Also, it's a zombie to them, right? Not to keep bringing up zombies, but like that's a dead man walking. They grieved him. His brother is dead, arguably kind of because of him. Like, and I guess they don't know that, but still, like that is probably very hard to cope with. And again, like I loved the like, the stuff with the uncle being like, this is something you're born with. And I think that will hopefully allow him to maybe heal now, where it's like, now that he knows where it stems from, that is part of him. He could maybe be like, okay, how do I properly handle this? Or how, like, knowing, I think, can do a lot for the mental of just like, now that I know it's me, now that I can accept this is who I am, how do I operate going forward? I think is very, very interesting. I'm a big fan of all that stuff. Glad he didn't kill his dad. I thought the dad was dead for a second.
Yeah.
Threw him. I was like, oh no. He's so
nice. I was like, oh no. It's like, this usually is the part where someone would die.
Yeah. Oh, we've seen that so many times. It's just like,
yeah.
What's that scene from like Ryan in season 4 where he's tackling the like armed guard or something? He flings him and he dies. He just slightly pushes him. It's like, no. I also thought the phone call scene was interesting too, when with Emma, where it's like, we're going to go save him. Are you in? Nah, I'm good. I'm fine. I don't need this. I don't really like Emma that much, or I'm sorry, Kate that much. It's like, oh my god, all right, that's interesting. And what are the consequences of that? Right. You know, like what happens when Kate finds out that you didn't help me escape? Does Emma look at him differently after an experience like that too?
Yeah.
Are you like, well, you weren't there for us, so fuck you, kind of thing? Like, I don't know. That's interesting. What's his name? Is it Polaris? Is that his name? Polarity.
Polarity.
Yeah, that's interesting as well. Obviously his talk with Cypher. It's interesting. Like, he knows everything.
Yeah, dude. And he put up that
whole sequence is great too. Of just like, I pushed your son, he wasn't strong enough. It broke his little body. It's like, oh no, don't
shut up.
That.
Shut up.
Yeah. I wonder if he would have killed him. I wonder if it wasn't for him holding him back, if he would have actually killed him in that sequence. That'd be interesting.
I wonder if he's too concerned about what'll happen to the kids.
Maybe.
Because I feel like he almost sees them as like he has to protect those kids at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, because he is, weirdly enough, the only one kind of protecting those children right now. Like, if it wasn't for him, they would probably still be locked up. I guess Kate as well, but it seems like, again, it feels like everything has been planned upon planned. It seems like everything that's been happening has been because he ordained it. Like, everywhere they go, everything they do. I did think it was very interesting that their plan failed quite literally instantly. Like, the second they land on the roof, they are out.
Yep.
Which, on one hand, it's like, okay, yeah, he's that smart and he's that good. But also, it's like, kind of a dumb plan, too. Like, I do kind of like there's this trope in movies and TV shows where it's like, oh, they make these dumb plans and they somehow work. It's like, no, it was a bad rush plan and it failed because it was dumb. It was never going to work. I thought that was kind of a cool, and pacing was a little weird in that, but like, I thought the execution was like, okay, yeah, it makes sense why they.
I think the twist in this season is going to come through the fact that they do exactly what Cypher wants, but he doesn't realize what is actually going to happen from what he wants. Like, he underestimates the power of what he wants.
Interesting. Yeah.
I think that's where it's going to come from.
That is interesting. Yeah, I'm so interested to see where it ends. Like, I going into these final three, it's like, where do we go? Where do we go from here? Because we are still in prison, right? Like, we're out of our cages. Does Cypher let them out? Because it seems like he wanted them there. Like, it didn't seem like, oh, I'm punishing you for these consequences. It's like, oh, I needed you there for this plan to ultimately work.
And what happens to Marie now? Now that they know she can do that, is she right for the picking? Was that the final test?
Yeah. And also, it's like, she almost has a power now, right? It's like she has a little bit of an edge where it's like, okay, you need me.
And now with the implication of so does her sister. We know her sister has abilities based off of that preview that we saw.
That is also interesting. When did she get her abilities? Me and Taj talked about this a couple weeks back, where it was just like, is it because they were in the same, like, were there excess like drugs in the womb that kind of transferred over or something? Is it the same ability? Is it a different ability? Did someone drug her up late, like as a toddler? I don't know. Like I'm interested to see where that started, and what are the powers? Is it the same power? Is it? I hope it's kind of a different set, because like, that'd be interesting. But maybe it's also interesting having the same power. It's like maybe a lesser version. Like, she's less powerful than her sister.
I think it would be better if they had different powers.
Yeah,
definitely.
Or is it new too? Like, because the aunt didn't seem like she knew anything about her sister having powers. So is this something that was just happened to her somehow? Is it?
Yeah, maybe they just inject.
They could have
just injected her.
Is it the like temporary shit that they gave?
Oh, Yeah.
What is it, Temp V or whatever?
Temp V, I think.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. Yeah. I don't know. Like, again, I have so many questions, and I think that's a result of how good the show is at like writing this, because I have no idea where the rest of the season is going to go. I have no idea where we're leading.
Because knowing Vought, I'm gonna make a prediction right now and say her sister has had these powers for a little bit.
Okay.
At least for like a year, at the very least.
Okay.
And that was Vaught's way of like excusing themselves for taking her in, is that she's a soup and she's connected to Marie.
Yeah.
And was their like excuse for why they were able to take her to, yeah.
Yeah, I wonder, like, I'm trying to think, like, I kind of don't hate the idea of, like, maybe them promising, I actually would not be shocked if they've had the sister for a minute. Like maybe they kidnapped her a while ago as leverage for Marie, because they know how powerful Marie is.
I would also love to see a plot line that she got her powers right after Marie killed their parents, because she was afraid of Marie and she wanted to, like, be powerful as well because she was afraid of her.
Or, all right, here's an idea. She, like you said, she gets it in like shortly after, but she's too afraid to tell anybody because of what her sister did. Like if she came out and was like, Auntie, I think I have powers, just get out. Get the fuck out. Like you are not doing to me what you did. Like she's been keeping it a secret.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why she didn't know. That would make
sense.
Too.
And if she really can read people, she wouldn't even have to ask her aunt. She could read her mind. Oh, you know, what would you think if I had powers? She would know. She would already know.
Yeah, because like we saw like how she thought of Marie in that episode, being like, yeah, you fucking killed your parents. Like, no, I was the girl who had a period. That's it. That's all I was.
I also think her sister's going to be the key to figuring out Cypher, because if she can read minds just like Cypher can.
Yeah. That is. Oh, yeah, maybe.
She can figure out what's going on with Sister Sage. Because a lot of the season is mind games and not knowing what's really going on.
Yeah, a lot of moving pieces. A lot of, like, again, I'm curious, like, where does this season end? Right? Because this is the last The Boys season until the final season. So anything you need to set in place needs to happen here before going into that final season. This is the last time we are going into a Boys season where we're not wrapping everything up. We're wrapping up the main story. So again, like, I could see Starlight kind of coming in here again to wrap everything up. I could see maybe another Homelander cameo. I don't know if I want that necessarily, because that's just what we had in season 1. But is it stuff with Sage?
I would love to see a plot line where A-Train takes the college kids under his wing.
Yeah, he's one of the only characters that hasn't cameoed at this point, because we've had Starlight, we've had Butcher, we've had Homelander, we've had Sage, we've had Firecracker. Is that her name?
Yeah, Firecracker.
We've had her. Like, we've had most of the cast up here at this point. I guess outside of like the main, like, The Boys characters. Yeah, I can maybe see because he's on the run at the end of last season, right? Like, did he like run away?
No pun intended, right?
Bro, he's on the run. Yeah, no, I could see that. That could work well for me. Is there anything we haven't talked about yet that you feel like we should put a spotlight on?
The last thing I just want to mention, at least, is just the implication of having a character like Cypher in the final season of The Boys, where he could literally puppet anybody.
Yeah,
is awesome.
Well, yeah, like, what's stopping Cypher from like making Homelander jump off a cliff? You know, like, what's stopping him from like fly to the sun? You know what I mean? Like,
I think. Here's what I think.
Okay.
I think that the taking over thing only works to an extent.
Yeah.
If the person is a willing participant.
Interesting. You think Jordan was willing?
No, that's what I'm saying. Is that like I think that was very like it was about to end. Like it would like I'm saying like we don't know that it was like on a timer. To him, that was not going to last.
Yeah, I did love that scene where it's like, you know, like you are lying. That was painful for you, and like that element of it, like like the more he does it, probably the faster he's dying. The less time he has. So like that's interesting. Again, I'm so fascinated with the Cypher thing. I'm curious how much of him is the person he's puppeting, and how much of it is like the corpse. Like there's obviously the opening scene with Sage and them, and like I was thinking, and again, weird go away if you don't like the more not safe for work conversations that are about to inspire. I was like about to get weird. Did they both feel it, or just
it's my understanding,
or him? Like how
much? My understanding of that, it was something that was supposed to be done for Godolkin because she looked right at him, and she like staring at him. Covered Cypher's face while it was happening. And people were like, "Oh, is that like a thing?" I'm like, "No, I literally think that was like her way of honoring Godolkin. She didn't want him to like Cypher to see, and then she looked over. Like, I just thought that was exactly what was happening."
Yeah, like I think that scene gave away what we were all kind of theorizing. It was like, okay, nope, it is him. It is fully him. It is interesting having having to take care of yourself, like having to like give yourself the bath and feed.
That's a little weird.
Yeah, it's definitely very weird, and it is again like. Also, who is the actual Cypher? Is he just a guy? Did you just steal a random guy? Is he like your grandson or something? That's a little weird. You know what I mean? Like, who is the body that you are inhabiting? If you exit his body, is that guy still in there, or is he like a dead shell? Right? Like, once because it seems like it's a more permanent situation than whatever he was doing to Jordan and stuff like that. It seems like it's a more permanent stay.
You know what I just was thinking about?
Okay.
As a puppet, is he even feeling anything?
Yeah.
Because when he stabs himself with that fork,
yes,
no reaction.
Yeah. And maybe that's why he was willing to, because he's like, I'm not going to be in this body much longer. And again, that's actually a good question now, actually. Is Godolkin himself in the corpse dying? Or is the puppet just running out of steam? Right? Maybe it's a situation where he can only get so much use out of one puppet, or their brain starts to bleed, or whatever. So maybe when she said you are running out of time, she meant the puppet is running out of time to do what we need to do in this body, in what people see as Cypher, as that person. But then he would be fine just going back into the body. He would just be there until he takes over someone else, kind of thing. Like, I'm curious about that. That's also interesting, and that goes into your Marie theory, where the season ends, he's in Marie's body. Marie is like a villain or semi-villain for The Boys season 5.
And more so, why does Sister Sage take such an interest? Is it because she's involved in some way? Because she has probably one of the strongest brains out of everyone?
Oh, yeah, that's interesting. Like, maybe she
was a puppet at some point.
Yeah. I do think she's using them. I do think it's all a ploy. I think it's the same idea with Homelander, where it's like, I don't really like you, but I am going to pretend to be your loyal servants until I get what we want. And again, like, if maybe she's the villain of like Boys Mexico or something, right? If Cypher's the main villain of Gen V, if Homelander's the main villain of The Boys, maybe we're setting her up to be the big next main villain of the entire universe. Like, she is the next big threat we have to solve, which is, I think, a much bigger threat than Homelander. Homelander, I think we could just beat him. I think there's so many people that could be like, yeah, you're done. You're, and like if we get the boys people together, our Gen V cast together, he's screwed. He's done. I think they could beat him very easily. Bring back Queen Maeve. Like
the only thing that is protecting Homelander is Vought itself, and all of the ways that they are connected to the people that they love, threatening their lives. If they take care of Vought, that's it.
Yeah. Again, I've always said Homelander is not powerful, nor is Vought necessarily powerful. What the biggest power they have is marketing. That is what they have in them. They are powerful because they say that they are powerful and how they manipulate the system. That is all that they have. Once you see through the system, they are easy to take out. Like that's why the boys even stand a chance. It's like, how the heck did they get past? Because they know all the secrets. They know what's going on. Nobody else does. So I think, and again, it's almost like, how do we make season 5 last 8 episodes? Like, again, I'm curious, but I guess it makes sense though, because the world loves them now, right? They are, like, he is in charge of our government now. He's not the president, but he may as well be at this point. Like, yeah, interesting stuff. Yeah, if you don't. Oh, actually, let me mention one more character that I skipped over completely. Jordan this week as well. I loved. I loved how deep they dove into their psyche after what happened. I feel like if you do, I think most things that do like a mind control storyline, it's just like, oh, that sucked. All right, moving on. I love that we dealt with
see how they right after too. It wasn't like later. It was right after it happened.
It was right after there was this physical freak out. I love that a character that has been dealing with their identity. That is kind of their thing, where like that's been a struggle for them.
Right.
Having another person be like, I am you now. You do what I say. I think that's such a powerful storyline. I think that's so like, I wasn't me and I almost killed the person I care the most about. Like, I think that's so good.
Adding to that, kind of like my point earlier, I think that just further confirms the whole thing about having to have a strong mind, because multiple times Cypher's like, oh, you're not strong enough. You just let me right in.
Yeah.
He makes comments, right? Like he's like, oh, you just had such a weak mind. Like, you let me right in. It wasn't even, that's why I chose you.
Yeah.
And to me, that's like, okay, he's looking for that. Like, he knows the signs, and that is something that matters to him. Maybe that is a contributing factor to the powers themselves.
Maybe that's why he's at a school, right? I wonder if children's minds are easier to get into because their brains aren't fully developed yet. Teenagers don't know who they are yet. They don't know, what they are, what they like, what makes them them. They are still learning all of that. So this, like, he takes that job because I could go into any of their minds because they're all weaker minds, or like, I think that is a cool idea.
I will say, if that is the case, I hope we get to see what Cypher's actually like outside of being a puppet. I hope he's like the most skittish, like, man that has like self-identity issues. Like, I think that'd be the funniest thing.
I do kind of want to see that corpse just walking around,
right?
Like, I do kind of want it to be like Vecna a little bit, where just this kind of like veiny man monster walking around. Like, I think that's scary as fuck. That's a very intimidating villain to kind of bring in.
Even if it was just like for a minute in the next episode, like before he gets taken over, which is
the
like
finale. Yeah. No, I think I think in one way or the other, I think that's a character that's here to stay. I think we'll see him next season. Hopefully beyond that, but I got to see where the season ends. I need to see where next season goes. One other thing I was thinking, and then we'll wrap up from here. We've had several mentions of Queen Maze this season. It kind of feels like this is a season where they're kind of like trying to like remember this character. Like, there was even this wrap up of like, were you there when like she was there? It's like, nah, she was, she was dead after that. And it's almost like, remember Queen Maeve? Remember, like, I wonder if she's gonna come back next season because she's not dead, right? She's just on the run to escape all that. I would like to see her come back in the final season.
That'd be
as
awesome.
Like oh, this is finally going down. I'm going to help out. If I die trying, it's whatever. It's fine.
Yeah.
And I think she needs to be there when Homelander dies as like a fuck you. Like, yeah, I think he needs that. Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
With that being said, we have one comment here that I will mention, and then we will wrap this thing up. Harrison James said, "Yeah, I see him as a Palpatine-esque figure, controlling minds and prepping someone for a soul transfer." Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, but with that being said, Colonel, thank you for joining me today. This is an absolute pleasure as always. For those who don't know, where can we find you? What you're working on? What you
mostly just reactions every week to shows like Peacemaker, Gen V, movie reviews every week for new releases coming out, stuff like that.
Incredible. Go check out his stuff. We've done a couple episodes of The Pipeline right here on the channel, so if you want to go check out. Earlier this year, we did.
I think it was MCU. I want to say
Thunderbolts. Fantastic episode. We talked Thunderbolts. And then we did a video last year as well on something. I forget what it was. But go check both those out. Go check out Council. We're both on there semi-regularly, so go check out that stuff. And without further ado, my shows for the week, obviously. After credits, we're back next week for more Gen V, Peacemaker finale, and something. Star Wars Vision Season 1, I think is when we're doing 3. That.
Oh.
No. We're watching Season 1.
Okay.
We're going to do a weekly. I think that's next week. It could be the following week. I'll let you guys know. But yeah, I will catch you folks on the flip side.